Good morning. We're live with the first Talking Reds of the week. We put the preview out for the Leeds game out free yesterday, so if you haven't watched that yet, go and check it out. I'm Harriet Prior. I'm joined by John Gibbons today. It's been a busy week. We've had a lot of fun, but there's been a lot going on, hasn't there?
Yeah, it's cup final week, so we obviously wanted to make the content as good as we wanted it to be and get the build-up excitement. So then we planned, we'll start to plan all this stuff, and then this Leeds game got through it as well. But listen, you can't watch this team too often at the moment, can you?
No such thing as too much football.
No such thing, certainly not when the team's as good as this Liverpool one. So yeah, bring it on. Really looking forward to watching them again at Anfield tonight. I think it's going to be an interesting team. I know we're going to go on to talk about that, but yeah, just really looking forward to the game.
Just first, we've not done one of these since the weekend, so we've not sort of reviewed the title race and looked at how things are. Obviously, it could have gone much better for us on Saturday. It was like the perfect outcome. We came from behind, we got the 3 points, and Man City dropped points. Are you feeling positive? Are you feeling more positive than you did on Friday?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's another thing that's made this Leeds game even bigger, isn't it? Before that, it was like, maybe you just want to get through before the weekend. No new injuries and all that, and 3 points and just get through it. Whereas now, obviously, it could not shoot us up in the table in terms of position, obviously, but put us even closer to Manchester City. So yeah, the weekend's very much put the cat amongst the pigeons, haven't they? And if Pep Guardiola was having fears about Liverpool before, which you keep saying, then he's gonna be waking up in the night in cold sweats now.
Klopp was very matter of fact about it yesterday in the press conference. He said, yes, if we can win them all, it's a title race. I don't think 1 second about a title race. Do you think that's realistic? Do you really think that the manager and the players aren't fully focused on that and know the job they've got to do? Or?
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, obviously they do think about it, and obviously they do talk about it, and obviously they're focused. They know why they're winning games. That they know, the whole point of accumulating as many points as possible is because they want that title challenge, and they know that drop points, when you're up against a team like Manchester City, just really really hurt you. And so I think they know what the end game is, and they know what they want to get there. But also on top, I do think it is true that they are sort of game by game, and that's why they've had so much success. And you think back to a couple of seasons ago, the season where they won it, and they were just winning and winning and winning. And listen, if you set out in August to win 23 games in a row, and imagine Jurgen Klopp coming in and going, right boys, what we're going to do is win 23 games in a row. Everyone would be like, the heads would fall off. But if you just say, well, we'll just beat the next team, then we've shown it's possible. And so I think they are fully focused on the next game. I think that is correct. Obviously, there'll be an element for the manager when he's with his trusted coaches, and when he's with the brain and the eyes and whatever they're all called. But they'll be
That's us, isn't it?
Which one am I?
We're not that arrogant yet, anyway.
I love the yes. Yeah, build up to it. But when they're in those situations, that they'll probably be looking at 2-3 games in advance, because they'll need to for rotation and things like that. But I think when they're together as a squad, it is next game, and that is why Liverpool have been so successful.
Yeah, and talking about the next game, Leeds tonight, I mean, it's a rescheduled game. It was meant to be the Boxing Day fixture. I wasn't going to get to go to that, so I'm secretly quite happy that I'm actually getting to go tonight. It's quietly become the biggest league game so far of the season, hasn't it? And it takes us 3 points closer, and that would mean we go to the Etihad, hopefully, if we can keep winning our games with just a 3-point gap, and that's exactly what we want, isn't it?
Yeah, it's funny you say that about what a sort of big game it's become, and we've had some schedule stuff this morning where we've suddenly realised, well, are we covering the Leeds game enough? Because the original plan was on Thursday, was to jump straight to the cup final stuff, but yeah, we've hastily arranged, as Harriet was doing it, while we were sat here waiting to go live.
We were hoping you couldn't hear us organising a review.
Organising a review, because it is a huge game now, and we know the review show, the review audio show is really, really popular, because it's a fantastic show, and the guys do a great job on it. And so we've thrown one of them in Thursday morning, because we feel like this Leeds game does now need a little bit more attention, because of what's happened at the weekend, because of what it means for the title race, and because I think it's going to be an interesting one as well, because in terms of the team, I think a couple of guys are going to come in who maybe haven't played so much. I saw Rob Gutman, the esteemed Rob Gutman, tweeting this morning he thinks Curtis Jones might get a start, which is an interesting one, because obviously recently he's not even made matchday squads, but he could be someone who just comes in. Is there a game for Divock Origi there? Is there a game for Minamino? There's lots of interesting selection issues, challenges for the manager, but we're all confident that whoever goes out to the pitch will play like a Liverpool team, and will bring the heat to Leeds United tonight.
I like bringing the heat. I enjoyed that. We'll have a little look at selection in a minute, but first of all, just a little look at Leeds. I know you did the Leeds caller for our team talk show. They've suffered a bit recently, haven't they, with their results? They've had a bit of a tougher season than their first. They've been in the Premier League two seasons now.
Their second
season. They had a really great first one. However, they have still shown that they're still playing on the front foot. They're still trying to attack. I mean, in the Man U game, they got 2 goals in a matter of minutes, and they show how they can still hurt teams. So, you know, I think it's one where we go in, we have to respect the opposition and be on the front foot from the start.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that with Norwich, Harriet, didn't we?
Yeah.
They were dangerous on the break, and there's good players throughout this league. You know, the Premier League is quality, the sort of strength throughout, and even the teams who are at the bottom, you know, will have players who can hurt you if you're not on it, and especially, as you say, Leeds United, with the way that they play, you know, we can't give them any encouragement tonight. If we're slightly off it, or we're not there with our tempo, they'll be looking around and saying, like, Liverpool are thinking about the cup final here, Liverpool, you know, we've got a chance here to sort of get something. We want them to go into this game and to be in this game thinking, oh, let's just get through this one and worry about, you know, the games in a couple of weeks. You know, you mentioned I did the Leeds caller. He was pretty much saying that. He was like, you know, if we're going to stay up this season, which, you know, he thinks that they still will, you know, it's not going to be games that Anfield to decide it. It's going to be, you know,
scrappy
the game,
ones in the relegation zone and that kind of thing. Yeah.
So, but you need to keep that, and I think the players will be thinking similar. But obviously, if we give them a bit of encouragement during the game, if they sense we're not quite there, they sense we're not quite on it, you know, and the sort of intensity levels isn't there from our point of view, then suddenly their mindset changes. So straight at it from the off, bring the heat, and yeah, well, I'm sure we'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't like playing teams that are in a relegation battle. They quietly come to Liverpool just to set up and concede, and not to concede, don't they? But I don't think Leeds will do that, so hopefully it will be a bit of a game tonight. Obviously, we've got the League Cup final this weekend. Probably going to see a lot of changes. There were 7 changes against Norwich, and I think probably we'll see a bit of a different team tonight. I don't think it'll be a case of prioritising one or the other, though, because we know that they're both must-wins, don't we?
Well, he's been rotating, you know, for the last couple of weeks, really. I think with the idea of building up to the final, and that's what I mean before about, you know, they do look ahead in terms of the trusted people around sort of Klopp, really. And, you know, for example, at the weekend we saw both fullbacks drop out, didn't we?
Yeah.
And Trent not even in the squad. I think for this game, obviously, you'll see both of those come back in. I think one of the centre-halves will drop out, another one sort of come in. I think midfield, you know, we saw Fabinho not play on Saturday, so I think he'll play tonight. And so I think he's been very clever, Jürgen, in that he's, you know, instead of doing 11 changes for, say, the Wednesday before the final, he's been doing 4 or 5, and then that allows him to bring other guys back in and other guys to drop out, and keeps us really strong. So I'd expect Fabinho and Thiago, for example, both to start tonight, who obviously don't start at the weekend as well. And then there's another midfield place up for grabs there, maybe Curtis Jones, someone like that, who's sort of able to come in. And then the forwards is the interesting one, because, you know, we have got a couple of injuries there, and so does he ask the 3 lads to go again, bearing in mind they might have to start Sunday, or do we see a bit of a Regi or even Minamino? We'll have to wait and see.
Talking of Sunday, we've mentioned we've got a lot of great content on the app this week, and you headed to Cork, was it just last week now, wasn't it? And did a bit of a documentary in Kelleher, which you're going to see a clip of in a minute, so tell the guys what you did.
Yeah, it's funny that the one player who we're almost certain will start on Sunday is Kevin Kelleher. I mean, there's probably a couple of others who you could pick, but Kelleher's the one where Jürgen's come out and said it's his shirt, he's my keeper in this competition, and you know, I want to sort of reward that and see him through. And then we just had a bit of a chat, and we thought, well, he's the one we know is going to play, but probably the player in the squad that we all know least about, really, in terms of, you know, what kind of person he is, his background. And so we jumped the flight over to Cork, which was quite exciting in itself. It's been a while since I've gone anywhere to do any content.
Use your passport.
Exactly. There's not the studio over there, or my little boy's nursery. So it was nice to get on a plane. So me, Josh and Fuad went over and went to see the guys at Ringmahim Rangers, and they were just absolutely first class with us, the way they looked after us, how open they were. You know, it was great to see their facilities, see all the youngsters out there training on a bit of a cold, wet night, but they were all sort of out there doing bits on a Monday night. And yeah, spoke to the secretary of the club, but also his manager, who managed him throughout, because they take the team straight through, and one of his teammates as well. And we also spoke to a couple of guys from Liverpool's academy at the time as well, Neil Critchley, who's Blackpool manager now, and a teammate of his, Liam Curley, who's now at Accrington Stanley. So everyone was first class. It's out this morning, it's out already. I'm absolutely made up with how it's turned out, but that's because of the people who gave so much of their own time, but also of themselves to us. So yeah, it's a little clip from that.
I was actually sat out there in my car in the car park of the club, and one night after training, Queeveen's father rang me. This was on the 14th, but October or something, because I know it was before Christmas, but he rang and just said that he heard our keeper he just didn't want to play with our team anymore because he wanted to go back down to his younger group because they were younger than us. So his dad Ray rang and said, look, would you take a chance and put him in goal? But apparently he was actually doing a bit of work with the Cork team as well in goal. That I think the coach, Steve Berman up there at the time, saw something, there was a bit more there, you know, and he'd be a well-known coach here in Cork as well, like so. But I don't think Queeveen ever wanted to kind of push it because we had a keeper and it would upset the dressing room and so on and so forth. So yeah, I suppose, to be honest, we had no choice. We were stuck for a keeper that Saturday or Sunday, whatever it was. So I said, yeah, look, we've not much to lose at this stage. We have no keepers, we put him in goal. But I never would have thought it obviously would take off the way it has, you know. And he played his first game in goal that Sunday against Springfield here. We lost 1-0. He got lobbed, but there's a bit of a wind down here. Like, you know. But yeah, just that was it. Like he never, obviously, as I say, look, I'm treating myself, but we haven't looked back, and it's a crazy story, really, like that.
Are we back in? I think we're back in. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that clip, and if you did, go and download the app because we've got so much great content on there this week. We've got interviews with Ian Rush, Phil Thompson, loads more to come out, loads more reaction from tonight as well, and then building up against the weekend. I think we've got about 4 shows coming out tomorrow, and that's just audio, so there's a lot going on. So download the app, come and get involved. You'll get free tokens to trial some of the content as well. So yeah, come and join us. Can have a look at some of the comments here. Philip Jeffries said he said thanks for the Kelleher show. It was a great listen this morning. So you've already got fans.
Well, only out at 8 o'clock and he's
early dog walk.
Fair play.
There's a bit of controversy about your jacket being blue, so I'm going to give yourself a chance to redeem yourself.
Listen, we're not Evertonians on this. We're not going to get precious over what goes on our Christmas trees and all that. We're better than that. We're beyond that. I think it's a little bit Marseille 91. That's what I was going for with me look this morning, Chris Waddle and all that. But listen, if you don't like it, then that's fair.
Do you know what I mean? Like it. That's not the problem.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. Do you know what I mean? I get a lot of praise from your tracksuit, so you've got to take the other side when it comes.
Yeah. Adam has asked if we've got an Adidas sponsorship now. We haven't, but something to think about.
Me and Harriet will take Adidas sponsorship if it's going.
Justin's asked if I'm still hungover from weekend celebrations. No, when I put hungover talking Reds, it's because one of you said you were hungover. I am not, to be clear. There's loads of nice comments actually in here. A lot of crisps and jackets and all that. You've had some support.
Thank you.
Lots of support. I'd give us a 33% chance winning the Prem. I'm giving us more than that.
33 is not bad though, was it? Like you'd have took that last week. It was less than last week, so 33 is not too bad at all.
Yeah, someone said put the big div up front tonight. We'll talk a little bit about team selection. It could be a game we see Origi. It could be, it equally could be a game we just see the standard 3. I mean, obviously at the moment we're not sure about Jota and Firmino.
Yeah.
Klopp said in the press conference yesterday they're not back tonight. We're hopeful that Jota will be back for the weekend, mainly because his hairdresser said that he could be, which I'm really enjoying as a person breaking the injury news. It's his hairdresser, so. I think maybe we see Origi coming in tonight. Someone's put a shout here for Minamino, or do you think we just see Diaz, Mane and Salah like last time?
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? Because I think if he was more certain, he'd have either Jota or Firmino for the weekend. I think he'd maybe ask them to free them to go with the idea that the one drops out for the final, probably Diaz because he's new. But I think with the idea of it being unknown, you might just think, I'm not sure if I can risk, because imagine if I get one more injury and then what am I going to do? So I think I'd be strongly tempted to go at EG and maybe even Minamino as well. So I wouldn't be surprised to see at EG, Minamino and one other. Maybe Salah, because it looks like Salah can just play forever, and he's a one-man forward line anyway. So I think you might see sort of Diaz and Mane drop out and he picks sort of Salah alongside those two and relies on that. I thought Origi did okay when he came off the bench the other night.
Gave him something else to think about, didn't he? Yeah. And especially with his sort of stature, he's sometimes a bit hard to just throw in and they don't know what to do with him.
And listen as well, the last few games we've been so strong off the bench, haven't we, with players sort of coming on, and so Jäger might look at that way and think, well, if I need to hold 2 back, is it with either Mane and Diaz or sort of 2 others? Then, I can always sort of bring them on 60-65 if I feel like we need them and look to sort of, win the game that way. So it's not like, it's just leaving people sort of out completely. He has got the contingency there, and that's how he might look at it.
Yeah, and then in the midfield, there's a few shouts for Harvey Elliott. Someone said here, looking forward to seeing Harvey Elliott tonight, another generational talent on our hands there. And he absolutely is a generational talent, and I think he's a player that's getting more and more game time with the view that he's going to be one of the stars of the future for us. And I think we can see him tonight probably start.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a really good shout. Obviously, he's not involved at all at the weekend, and so it makes sense to maybe start him in this game, possibly alongside Thiago and Fabinho, which is a midfield we saw at the start of the season, and then a little bit sort of recently as well. So I think it might be the three of them. I mentioned sort of Curtis Jones before, but the more I sort of work it out, I think it'll be those three who starts tonight. And then we'll see ahead of Sunday. We'll see maybe if the three of them do brilliantly, they'll sort of get the nod again. But I think we will see that. And I do like the balance of that midfield as well. The three of them all offering something different, but all obviously excellent footballers as well.
Matip or Konate?
I think it's a tough one, is it? I think I'd go Konate tonight and Matip on Sunday. I think
I would as well. Well, there we go. We've got a whole team.
Boxed it.
Just Klopp, just watch this. You'll know exactly what to do.
Jaeger loves talking Reds.
Yeah, I've enjoyed that a lot. Come and join us, download the app, get your free tokens, buy the merch. There's so much going on this week. We're really excited and we hope you will be too. So yeah, come and join us. We'll be reacting to the Leeds game tonight and then building up to the weekend. Loads of stuff going on. Loads of things to look forward to. Anything you want to shout about before we go?
No, just download the app, get stuck in. If you've not yet, you get loads of free tokens and you can enjoy all this amazing cup final content that we've got over the next few days, but obviously all the post-match stuff for tonight as well.
Up the Reds.